Hello and welcome back to another week of Sambo iRacing. We're back in the Ferrari 296 GT3 edition using the fixed setup and this time at VIR full. This is a wonderful combo. I cannot wait to start actually racing in it. Hope you do too. If you are new to my channel, what we do is a hot lap and then we do a breakdown lap. Any questions, let me know in the comments and let's start the hot lap. All right, let's start the hot lap. So just to be clear, this is on very warm tyres and relatively low fuel. Brake bias is shown on the dashboard, 50.1%. Long trail off as you can see into turn one. Nice and wide as we go through two. Little dab on the brakes, leaving it in third gear. I'm braking a tiny bit harder, dropping it down to second. Sharp trail off. Gentle on the throttle. Now we're trying to slowly increase pressure without losing the rear, up to third. And now we're flat out through Snake. And we flat out here all the way to turn 10. So yeah, there's about 20 litres of fuel in the car here. Little dab on the brakes into fifth gear. Looking for just before the two. And again, long trail off. People try and do too much with their inputs around that corner. It's just a case of getting the car slowed down, keeping the balance, and then pumping on the gas. This is going to be madness this straight in the race. All good fun. All right. One marker, brake hard, down through the gears, down to second gear, hook that right-hand tyre over the side, try and go flat through here. I did a tiny little lift up to fourth gear. You want to be almost on the grass on either side. Smoothly back on the gas, hug it round to the right-hand side. And over and across the line in a 143.917. Right, let's do the breakdown lap. Right, let's charge through this breakdown. So first braking marker is just before the two. Now, I brake quite hard. I've said before, I've got the mBooster pedals, so I've set my brake pedal to vibrate once it approaches 80%. So as soon as it started vibrating, that's when I knew to hold that pressure. Then we trail off down to the apex. Still trailing off the brake, as you can see here, down to second gear. Now, once I hit the apex, I get straight back on the gas up to about 2/3, and then I complete the gas pedal once I've opened up the corner slightly. Hug it round to the right-hand side, into third gear. Now, as I say, the line through here that I'm doing is the fastest line. If you are fighting, you want to be further over to the left and hug it round here. But what I'm wanting to do is open up turn 3 by ignoring turn 2's apex. You get on the brake, basically, as soon as you go through turn 2's apex. We're not holding it particularly hard, just around 30%. Now we're trailing it off down to the apex of 3. And just before we hit that apex, we get back on the gas. We get up to 100% as soon as we unwind that wheel once again. Next braking marker is as soon as this extra bit of tarmac on the right-hand side stops. That's when you want to be looking to get on the brakes quite hard, up to 75% straight off, but it's a sharp trail off, quite quick, in second gear, and as soon as we hit the apex, that's when we're getting back on the gas once again. We can then go straight up to full power through, well, briefly up to full power. Then as we hit the apex here, we drop it down to, what, 30–40%, and then I'm straight up to sort of 75%, and then I'm holding it there. I really want to go up to full power, but I need to get my car in the right position to just clip this apex, and as soon as I do that, I am now pinned all the way up to turn 10. So just trying to hold your wheel as straight as possible. Let me know, am I too descriptive in the breakdown, or is it okay? I always worry I'm over chatting. Right, for turn 10, we are in fifth gear, but we're just going to dab the brakes now, quickly up to like 50%, trail them off. Now, I've missed that apex by a couple of feet. It's not really cost me in terms of time, lost about half a tenth, but the important thing is getting back onto 100% as soon as possible and not ending up in that field on our right. So I missed the apex by about as far as you can to still get on the gas at the right time and not actually go over and onto the mud, because you are on a loser once you do that. So for turn 12 Oak, we are braking just before the 2 again. Now we brake up to about 60% and don't do too much. So a lot of people then try and get on the gas and then on the brakes again. It's much more efficient and better for your tyres and the balance of the car overall to just slowly trail off. You're wanting to go right to the outside here. I'm still trailing off the brakes. Get the car turned in. Look, I've got 90-degree lock on here. And now I'm getting back on the gas. And basically, as soon as the car's settled after going over that bump and I unwind, I get up to 100%. And it still sends me quite wide, but that's fine. There's no off track here. There is if you start going into the mud. Pin our ears back as we go up the hill. Right, as we come up to roller coaster, we are going to start braking just at the 1 marker on the right hand side. And we're going to brake really quite hard. Again, I hit that 80%. My left foot starts vibrating. I trail it off. Still on the brakes quite hard, but I do trail it off at this apex here in 2nd gear. And as soon as I am basically on the apex, I'm back up at 2/3 pressure on the gas. As soon as I open up the wheel, I get up to 100%. Now, you can do this flat. I did a tiny lift. If you look there, I go down to, what, 90% and then straight back up to 100. That's just a psychosomatic confidence thing. Up to 3rd gear. Now, we want to be right over on the right-hand side here. And we turn in early. We're up to 4th gear. And we want to feel as if our left tyre is actually on the grass. And as we do that, we do a little dab of the brakes to about 30, 40, 45%. Wow. Trail that off. Quite quickly, we drop it down to 3rd gear, and again, we want our right-hand tyre to feel like it's on the grass. And as I'm here, you can see the steering wheel input in front of us. I'm at nearly 90%. I am at 90%. And if you look at the disconnect between my wheel in real life, isn't quite at 90%, but my wheel in the sim is at 90%. That's because I have my lock set to 540. Just so that I can get more steering for less, if you see what I mean. As soon as we then settle out, we go up to 100%. I'll get round to the right-hand side. And then it's just a sprint to the line. So that is the breakdown lap. If you are still watching, thank you for doing so, and I will be back again next week with another guide.